talk with Lauren, I think with the simplest thing I can do here is to bring together data for the website, and to speak with each of you to make sure that we align on like a list that is um, like coherent, to showcase on the website, to put up a copy, and to co-create that copy with you, and to start looking at organizations as we do that, organizations and their language, maybe even open positions, to see what is the language that they use, that is close to what we're doing. So I think I can work on this before our next call. Bart?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of clarity yet. Um, I'm also very curious, like to hone in on what's the proposition, the value proposition, and what's the exact service or product that we can offer. And yeah, I wonder, like it always helps to be as specific as possible. At the same time, I also somehow feel might be valuable to kind of co-create with organizations that are interested. So yeah, I like this idea of having something at least that we can present, and people who are interested can sign up for a waiting list or something. And then from there we can have the conversation and refine our service offering, and maybe we will come up with a few things. But I think it's good to start very focused and ideally with one thing. So yeah, that's my main question here. How to hone in on that, and then from there, I think there's many ways that we can start marketing this. I like what Victor suggests, creating different pieces of content. Just get out there and start the conversation and get feedback and refine until we have something that sticks.
I think I'd like to just put my hand up and say, I really, really don't know enough about how other people are thinking about this to know how I would fit in or what I can contribute or what the offering would be. I really don't know. So for me, if people are interested, and that's a big if, obviously, but I'm personally quite interested in just reading and hearing more about what other people are wanting to do here, and just getting a feel of how I can contribute if I can. So I don't have a clear idea at all about what the offering would be, except in my own terms of ontological commoning. But then, that's entirely dependent on whether people can relate that, whether that relates to what other people are thinking or doing and whatever. So I'm kind of very open here.
Mm-hmm. Before this call, I was thinking about this exercise to do with you is to talk through the current threads that are happening in our life, and to share, maybe not all of them for privacy if you'd like to keep some to you, but this is recorded, but as an exercise to really think about how we present ourselves and all these different involvement in these organizations. Do you agree to share that? If you don't want to share also, it's okay. Like different names of organizations and your involvement or your kind of like relationship to it. Is okay? Okay, I don't see Lauren, but okay. I can start. So I have a few things happening and I'm trying to like really put them in the same, let's say, like piece of fabric, or rather maybe even like this smaller, thinner type of piece where I can really focus. So my current work is around 144, which is a network of physical locations between Lisbon and Prague, where we can travel between these places without doxing ourselves to the government, and to be able to set up these co-working, co-living situations that are really beneficial to the weaving work that I'm doing. This is non-for-profit project. I don't have any way to monetize it this time. It's all about networking and spending time with people and figuring out if their location is a good fit. So with that, I'm working with, or rather looking to work with, and collaborating with a project called Eternal Forest. This is Evgenia's work. So the idea is to create 1,000 of forest sanctuaries where she would be hosting, or this organization will be hosting, art residencies, and help different locations understand how to preserve forests and how to, let's say, build a relationship with the forest. In that aspect of my work, I'm working more towards partnerships and figuring out physical locations that will be good partners to showcase Evgenia's work and fundraise for this project. Another thing I'm working on is this interview series that I post on YouTube. It's basically interviewing people in the alternative governance space and helping us to weave a variety of different ways that we think about managing ourselves and what are the alternatives out there, basically. Research project, very big one. I plan to interview 144 people, and I'm at around 50 right now. Another thing, I'm looking more deeply into these leading voices within this space of network states, and looking at a few projects. I'm not going to name names, where I'm in the chats and in the calls, just to understand what is being built and how much I can be involved. Everything is pre-funded. And last thing is the education. Bart and I spoke about it a little bit, and it's about education that can come up out of my work in general, how I can bring these experts together and put together more of a offering that I can do for profit in the future, where I have enough, let's say, voices collected within this like new way of governance and new way of looking at technology. My background is in Web3 and communications with Web3 and AI systems, so I'm trying to let go of that a little bit more and focus on the physical infrastructure build-up. So that's from me. Lauren, you want to go next?
Just as one thing, I actually didn't expect that we were gonna do this right now. I didn't, like, I gave my thumbs up, but I wasn't aware that we were gonna do this right now. So I wanted to check in if this is really the most aligned thing to do right now. I'm open to it. I also wonder like how this is going to help us with what we just discussed before.
I was thinking to do it because I wanted to put together the list of like the networks and skills, and for this call, so that we are openly aware of what each of us are looking at, in our life right now. If you don't want to share, it's okay as well.
Oh, it's okay. I just want to check with the group. If this is the most aligned thing to do. If everybody's okay with this, I'm okay.
Yeah, well, it kind of aligns with the idea of having a collective offer proposition. So I think it starts by knowing each other well.
Good point. Yeah, okay. Thanks. Now that helps. Then I can also understand how this is going to help us with the collective offer. So, okay.
But if there are other ideas of what to do now, I mean, it's also interesting to hear. No? Well, then yeah, let's continue.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking about, like, I feel like I'm on like a mini sabbatical right now from being involved in things. So I'm just sort of removed from a lot. But like I would say I'm still fairly like an active bio leadership fellow. I'm involved in like a ton of communities. So the Global Regeneration CoLab, the Weaving Lab, you know, and obviously I was involved for over 4.5 years with regeneration pollination, but recently stepped back from that. So yeah, right now I'm not really engaged with anything. I'm focusing on, I guess you could say, focusing on self-care and in bringing in income. So I guess the main project that I'm currently working on is I'm kind of supporting project management and I guess event production side of things with organization called OHM, and OHM is kind of bringing together, you could say, like indigenous wisdom and spirit and modern day wellness and spirituality. So I guess I'm kind of going down the spiritual route now. So I'm kind of helping out with their Earth Day event that they're doing here. I'm back in New York, by the way, in Times Square in April. And there's also an awards ceremony in the UK that their other collaborator who I connected with puts on, called the P Awards, which stands for People, Environment, Achievement. So I'm sort of kind of connecting in there, but I'm not heavily engaged really with anything else at the moment, which is okay. But I have you know, the background of other things that I've done, so I can kind of bring that forward. I don't really need to go into that at the moment. But yeah, I mean, my background's been around like community building, weaving, event organizing. Yeah, I've been doing that for practically 20 years, I guess you could say. So that's sort of like, you know, social regeneration, social permaculture kind of thing. Yeah, with an interest right now to pivot, also doing more in the realm of like the creative art or performing arts. So that's sort of a new world. It's not new, but it's newer in terms of theater that I'm going to be starting to bridge into shortly. That's really all I have to share right now. So I'll stop there. Simon.
Yes, thank you. Oh, nice that Victor's silenced the keyboard. Great. The main, I'm more involved in informal and non kind of constituted networks than formal ones. But the main network I'm actually involved in at the moment is Life Itself from the Second Renaissance, and there I'm really focusing on the Knowledge Commons work and the wiki style Knowledge Commons work. That's my interest. That seems to be where I have the most interest, and in particular how we structure that to be really collaborative and really commonly owned, and not just sort of like, okay, guys, I'm going to tell you what the structure is. You've got to do this. No, how to sort of do it much more in a much more involved kind of way. But Wikis, Knowledge Commons, and Life Itself, that's really the only visible network I'm involved in. But I'm also in touch with a load of other people in England and and actually the last lot of people I'm involved in actually are fascinating bioregional knowledge commons. There's a little group of bioregional knowledge commons people in America, including Bill Bowie and indeed Mario, who was at the gathering, Mario Yanes. And so we're interested in knowledge commons for bioregions. That's me for the moment.
I can go next. Yeah, I'm also at the moment having a very strong focus on building an income with the work I do. And yeah, over the years I've built quite a diverse network, and I'm interested in village building projects on the one hand, like the real underground work where a lot's coming together and people pioneer new ways of living, to the more digital realm, networks, technology, collaboration. I think that's kind of an intersection that I inhibit quite naturally. And somewhat related to that, alternative economics and the more social dynamics. I think that's a very interesting aspect for me as well. And more recently, also the fundraising aspects in general, like how do we resource networks, how do we resource projects? And I think in general, I'm very much drawn to vision incubation. I really see myself as a vision weaver. So I pick up like different visions, either in projects specifically or between projects, and from there I make connections. Yeah, and that's the brief summary. Did we have everyone?
I guess it's my turn.
Victor or Alejandra? Yeah.
Well, I took it. Well, I come from, my background is in ecology. I have worked with the government in Mexico, with private companies, and the tourism, ecotourism as well, and with civil society initiatives. But I quit my job in the company by the end of the year because I felt I was kind of isolated, only behind my computer and not having a real impact. And I decided to jump into event organization, also to build communities and to empower people by meeting each other. So I think it's fun because we are all like jumping back and forth in each other's fields.